Hey there guys, Nordic Warrior here. Okay, so let's get this one out the way. I wasn't going to do a post-fight review for the Usyk fight because, the truth be told, look, this fight was what it was. It was a mismatch. It was a very, very predictable fight. It went pretty much exactly the way most people thought it would. Pretty much everybody that I ran into thought that Daniel Dubois would either quit from rounds 8 to 12, something like that, or it would just be a one-sided decision win for Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk absolutely schooled, humiliated, dominated, outboxed, outworked, outthought, outhustled, and just completely and utterly obliterated Daniel Dubois. The fight wasn't in any way competitive. I sat down and watched it closely this morning. I managed to find a very, very good copy of it in clear HD. And yeah, the fight was exactly how we all thought it was going to go. So why am I talking about it? Well, this fight, and more specifically the reaction to it from boxing fans, really sums up to me why I could care less about the sport of boxing. The boxing public, and I'm talking about not even just hardcore boxing fans, I'm talking about just the casual, normie, general audience that boxing seems to attract these days, are some of the most despicably dishonest people you will ever come across. And that goes for both the casual fans and the normies, as well as the people who are working as part of the boxing establishment, right? Commentators, pundits, these people who run these big interview channels. These people are just dishonest pieces of shit, every single one of them as far as I'm concerned. So Oleksandr Usyk won every single round. And look, don't get mad at me. Right, if you want to see how this fight should have been scored, just count the punches. Watch every single round of this fight, and this includes round 4, which some people gave to Dubois. This includes round 6, which some people gave to Dubois. All you got to do is count the punches in those rounds. There wasn't a single round in this entire fight where Dubois landed more punches than Usyk. Not a single round. There wasn't a single round in the fight where he landed more effective punches than Usyk. Right, Usyk was the guy landing the cleaner, faster, sharper, more accurate punches in every single round of the fight. Hence why Daniel Dubois quit. Hence why he hit the canvas twice and quit, because he knew he couldn't win. What I saw from Usyk was he took the centre of the ring, he maintained a high guard, he probed just like I said he would, and he drew a lead from Dubois. And he figured out pretty early on in the fight that all he really had to do was stand at mid-range, and he would have been able to easily evade Daniel Dubois' jab, because Daniel Dubois doesn't really have a very good jab. Daniel Dubois' only chance in the fight would have been to land, and I said this in the past, Daniel Dubois' only chance would have been to land a big shot from long range, because there was no way he was going to get in there and fight like Derek Chisora and try and put it on Usyk, because that's not Daniel Dubois. He's not that kind of fighter. He's a textbook, upright, European-style fighter, just like Anthony Joshua is, which is another reason why this fight was so easy to predict, because Dubois had pretty much the same attributes as Anthony Joshua, but not quite as good. And we saw that Oleksandr Usyk was able to deal with those attributes in 2 fights. So there was really nothing that Dubois brought to the table that was really a trouble for Usyk and that he hadn't already dealt with. So the first round, Usyk was just taking his time, but he was letting Dubois get a shot in here and there. I felt he was letting him throw the jab at the guard, and he was just kind of parrying it away, getting a sense for the power of Dubois. Because Usyk does that. He reads his opponents. He takes a couple of rounds to really figure them out and, quote unquote, download information. And he was letting Dubois just get closer and closer with his shots, but not really letting him land anything clean, kind of like he did when he fought Chaz Witherspoon. And by about the 3rd and 4th round, he started to completely style on Daniel Dubois. And it looked as if Daniel Dubois wanted out of there. It looked to me as if Daniel Dubois just was completely clueless. He had that same look on his face that he had when he fought Joe Joyce and when he fought Kevin Lorena. That look that I'm completely out of my depth here, and there's nothing I can do. And as we know with a lot of Western fighters, what they do in that situation is they show desperation. And that was what Daniel Dubois did. Daniel Dubois started to target the belt line. Right, he started to throw, because he realised he couldn't land anything clean to the chin, and he couldn't really land any clean, effective body punches. So you'll see Daniel Dubois, and I think he did it deliberately. You see he started deliberately targeting the belt line, just like Anthony Joshua did when he fought Usyk in both fights. He targeted the belt line of Usyk, trying to throw low blows to slow him down. Because that's basically, if you've got a guy who's so quick on his feet and so light on his feet, you have to take his legs away somehow. So Daniel Dubois targeted the belt line, and he landed a blatant low blow. Half of the glove was on the navel, and the other half was literally below the navel. So it's as clear a low blow as you will ever see. Usyk was in a lot of pain. I don't think he was milking it. I think that reaction was perfectly justified from Usyk. That was a horrendous low blow. Daniel Dubois, say what you want about him, the guy can punch, and he really put it on Usyk with that low blow. He put everything behind it. He threw it with intent, and Usyk was badly hurt, man. And thank God the referee, Louis Pavon, actually did his job and actually was watching to see where the punch actually landed, because I'll tell you right now, if that had been a British referee or an American referee, we could have seen a knockout there, and it would have been absolutely farcical. You know, Usyk would have been in the same situation that Sergey Kovalev was. So, yeah, he was hurt badly. He was on the ground. He was in a lot of pain, but he got the time to recover, as he should, and he got right back to work. And because Daniel Dubois didn't get his way, because he didn't get the knockout victory he was hoping to get by committing an intentional foul, in my personal opinion, he completely checked out. He was completely and utterly mentally broken by it, and it was only a matter of time. Usyk went right back to work. He dominated all the rounds. I mean, round 6 was the only competitive round in the entire fight, and the only reason I say that it was competitive is because Usyk was still a little bit discomforted from the low blow in round 5. He actually won round 5 pretty easily, putting aside the low blow. He dominated the later part of that round and landed many more punches. He even hurt Dubois right at the end of the round. But he was a little bit cautious in round 6 because he realised Dubois was getting desperate in there, so he didn't want to do anything stupid. So he kind of took the round off, but he still landed more punches. He still threw and landed more punches. But then from round 7, just got right back to work and started to really put it on Dubois. And you got the sense Usyk was a little bit annoyed, he was a little bit wound up, and he just wanted to get the job done. And yeah, Dubois got dropped at the end of round 8. Pretty much took a knee, actually. Like, Usyk didn't actually knock him down, he landed a combination, and Dubois was completely off balance, and he decided to take a knee to avoid getting hit. And then he got back up, and he sort of reluctantly went back to his corner at the end of the round, but you knew the writing was on the wall. And then in round 9 it was, he just took a beating, got hit with a jab and went down and quit, literally just quit. So to all the people that are saying that Daniel Dubois got robbed and are saying he was robbed of his opportunity to become undisputed champion and all that rubbish, like, look, you're talking about a guy who literally got dominated for 9 rounds, threw a low blow, and then quit. That's literally... This is going to be... And I talked about this on Johnny Boy's live stream last night. Shout out to Johnny Boy. We had a good conversation about this. That's going to be Daniel Dubois' market now. That's going to be his reputation. They're going to use this. They're going to milk it. And they're going to try and maintain his marketability by saying he should have beaten Usyk because he landed a low blow. And that little midget twat Carl Frampton on commentary, he was the guy, in my opinion, who set all this in motion, because initially, when the low blow happened, Richie Woodall and the other commentators conceded that it was a low blow because they saw on the replay that it clearly was. Rewatch the fight and listen to them very carefully. They saw that it was a low blow, they conceded it, and they were okay with the ruling. Then that little bellend, that dirty little goblin, Carl Frampton, came on and started saying it was a legal body punch, Daniel Dubois was robbed, and this, that, and the other. And, just talking a lot of crap, talking out his arse. And all the other commentators started copying him. And then all the little, British fanboy dickheads on Twitter and all over the internet started running with that narrative that Carl Frampton started about it not being a low blow and it being a borderline shot. First of all, there's no such thing as a borderline shot. Okay, anyone that says otherwise doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. in regards to the rules of boxing. If you hit an opponent on or below the navel, okay, and the navel is where the belt line should be, and in Usyk's case, that's exactly where it was, right? The foul protector is actually below that, okay? If you hit a guy there, that's a low blow. I don't care what your personal opinion is. I don't care if you've personally seen referees not call low blows when they should, and you're trying to say that that should be the standard in boxing, you know, that should be the industry standard. I don't care, that's your opinion. The fact of the matter is, it was a low blow, and it was a fair call by the referee, right? The referee, Louis Pavon, did a great job officiating the fight. And, yeah, we shouldn't really be making a big deal about it. We shouldn't even be talking about it. At the end of the day, justice was done, right? Dubois didn't have a point deduction, but fair enough. Usyk got time to recover. And, the referee called it right. It was a foul. And, the fight went back and it reached its natural conclusion. Usyk got back to work. He was dominating the fight before the low blow. And he was dominating the fight after the low blow. He won every single round. Just count the punches. And he made Daniel Dubois quit because Daniel Dubois has no heart. Okay? That's all there is to it. I shouldn't even have to make a video talking about this fight. It was the most predictable fight we've had all year. It was the most formulaic fight we've had all year. You've got one guy who's a domestic level fighter fighting an elite fighter. The elite fighter dominates every single round. He was, a 10-1 favourite, something like that. We all knew how this fight was going to go. The reaction to this fight, like I said on Johnny Boy's live stream last night, people are just putting a downer on it. You know, these absolute, just insufferable cuck boxing fans who don't know what they're looking at are just trying to make a meal of this situation. And Matchroom and sorry, not Matchroom, Queensberry, you know, Frank Warren and all his little cronies are trying to, and people like Carl Frampton, who's on Frank Warren's payroll, you know, they're trying to maintain Daniel Dubois' marketability and use this to sort of put a downer on Usyk's performance, because obviously they're Team Fury. Yeah, whatever, man. I got nothing else to say. It was a mismatch. It went the way we all thought it would. Part of me actually hopes Usyk just retires now. Like, part of me hopes he does, because I would like to see him retire as undefeated heavyweight champion. You know, it would be nice to see someone do that, but I don't know. There's tough fights out there for him. There's the Fury fight. I think he loses to Fury. I've said that from day one. Zhang versus Joyce winner, which is going to be his mandatory. He's also got Hrgovic, who's his other mandatory. So there's tough fights out there for Usyk, which would be interesting. I think he beats those guys, but again, Fury I think is all wrong for him. But it is what it is. This fight, exactly how we all thought it was going to go. And most people don't know shit about boxing. Thanks for watching. God bless.